Hey everybody, wanted to record a quick update for you here. I have got all the various bits and bobs all assembled here in Max. Let's just actually save while we're sitting here. But I wanted to show you all the variants that I've got at the moment. Make sure I'm not forgetting anything. So this is sort of like a rubber duck. Yeah, and then also just to make sure that you guys don't think of something else that's like easy. Okay, so we'll look at the cargo hauler first because I think that's the big one that people have been talking about. Let's see, the rear section, the tail section. You can kind of see how it goes together here as well. I went ahead and put both, even though the landing gear is just a mirror, I'll go ahead and put STLs for both in there. It's no big deal. Then front landing gear. Okay, so the midsection, if you remember from the pictures, this is the one that I have. This is the original one I did with one box down. And I did the one box down just so from the majority of angles, there's not going to be any line of sight underneath this thing. Um, right, even if it's like elevated up a little bit on a landing platform, that's when you've got to kind of worry about it. But if it is, then hey, you've got one box down, but you've got a box up as well. So people can't see through this top gap and they can't see through this bottom gap really because you're going to have plenty of coverage, right? Even if you do like a little half-inch or quarter-inch tall landing pad on top of your table. So that's why I did it that way. But a couple people asked in comments or on the Discord or whatever um, about variations of this. Like, oh, do the containers come off and whatever? Like, no. So I smoothed, they ever so slightly overlap, and that's by design just to make it a little bit stronger. And like you're not going to end up with like support trash in the middle and whatever, right? And there's even like a box that runs through here that like welds it all together. Um, but in the interest of those options, so I've got a version now with no cargo. So it's just got the hooks hanging down, the big clampers. So that's a new version. We've got this one, which is the original one. We've got this one where all the cargo's tucked up. So there will be a gap across the bottom here, but you could like not attach the landing gear and then have like an in-flight model. If you just want a cool model, you know, you just chop off that little piece and plug that front landing gear spot. Yep, so there's that, and then I also did one where all the cargo is down. So these crates are tall enough to block a silhouette in Legion. If you're doing this for Legion, you're probably doing this for Legion. But this will give you even more. I mean, because the back wall of this thing is pretty beefy. It's gonna be hard to draw a line of sight through here. Um, and maybe talk to your opponent and agree you're not doing that. But for troopers, this would give you the most like, even if it's on a landing pad, this gives you the longest sort of like span of like nobody's shooting anybody in the ankles kind of stuff. Um, so yeah, that's that. That'll give you those options. Let's see what other options are there. Um, we can look at the power core real quick. I know I talked about this in the video and like showed it on the physical model, but there's the clamshells, got that. The other one that I added some options for is the gravel pits. Okay, so I added to the model these little pipe greebles that match the ones that I did in the real reel. Um, I didn't print those originally, so I've got a version in here with no greebles in that spot. You can put whatever you want in there. I didn't want to have to sand those cylinders inside of that little nook. And I'm like, I sand a lot to get these things ready. Uh, I didn't have as much time to sand them as perfectly as I would like, but I spend a lot of time sanding and filling and sanding and filling and sanding and filling. And so for me, I was just like, well, I've got styrene laying around because, you know, big time nerd. Uh, and so it was easy to just like build these and stick them in real quick. It was like chop, 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 glue, 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 done. Like it was a 10-minute project. Um, but for those of you who don't mind the print lines in this little nook, now you have an option that's got a little more visual interest. You don't have, you can do as much cleanup as you want there, right? So did an option there. And then I have a version. Oh, I need to do a version with a foundation. Let's do that real quick. We'll just do it. We have that. We have that technology. Look at this precision. I'm not even checking in the other views. It's madness. Okay. So now this guy, and then we'll attach. Boom. Oh, and then we gotta clone this. And we gotta say with Greebles foundation inches. Okay. And we gotta hide you, and we gotta go here, and we gotta grab that thing. Nope, not all of them, just that one, and delete it again. Okay, so a little hard to tell because it's like gray on gray. I know it's how I tend to work. I don't know why. But these ones are hollow on the bottom, so you can mount them on whatever you want, right? This is how I printed mine, and then I mounted them on styrene because I was like, oh, this will save time and print material. On the Ender 3, it turns out that was goofy. My buddy who does all the printing for me was like, the travel time of the majority of the bounding box is the real killer. So didn't really help much. Oh well, there's always next time. So, but that is an option if you just want to save some filament. Otherwise, there's I'll give you a version with a foundation in there as well. If you wanted to like put them up on a hill and have like a deeper pit, you'd want the one with no foundation. But if you're doing them flat on your table and you don't want to cut some styrene or some, MDF or whatever you're basing your stuff on to fit, you don't have to. You got both, and you've got this big one with the greebles and without the greebles for these little piperoos. This one always has this because this is how it looked. It looked in Battlegrounds. Yeah. And this side we don't know because we can really only see this direction. I just put that in there just because I thought it was nice. Okay, that's that one. Prefab one. Okay, prefab one has a couple little doodads. So there's a version of the roof that has this little grill thing in there. If you don't want to print the grill in there, I've got a version with no vent and then the vent separate. I have a version that's like scalloped on the bottom. I don't know, beveled. Kind of the bevels kind of follow the thing to be the minimal amount of material. That's kind of a pain to support though, depending on what you do. And then I've got a solid version where it's just flat on the bottom. So we ended up printing this one resin separately, and then I just glued it in, and then there was a little bit less cleanup to have to monkey with. So options, right? Options for how you want to tackle it. So you have the complete roof, if you just want to print it and be done, and then sand as much as you want to. Or if you want to be like a little bit of a maniac like me about print lines, you can print them in two pieces, and then the magic of cyanoacrylate make your dreams come true. Prefab 2, nothing to report. It is what it is. You can probably see most of this stuff by just spinning around the Sketchfab models. So this one's got the second story. It's just got the little door up here. And that's been in like the pictures and stuff. I took the pictures with the guys in peeking through the window or whatever at the little rebel guys. And this fits pretty nice, like on the real one. It just slots right in there, and then like these like line up where they look like they're all connected. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice if I do say so myself. This is still a fun table to play on. I've got a whole video of like uh board layouts that we've played the last few weeks and some like talking about it. I will post that one after I post this one. I've like banked some stuff and then forgot to like post it the next day because I'm like, oh, I need to do a thing, and then I record one, and then I'm like, oh wait, I had one already ready to go. I'll just post that, and then I forget the next day to do the next one. Oh, oh, what a world. Okay. And the processing center, no variance here because all these things are already separate parts, right? Which I've shown in like on the printed one. This is cleaned up a little bit though. I got a little bit of cleanup done on some of these, just lining stuff up just a touch better, which is always nice. Always nice. That's the point of printing them all yourself up front. Plus, I just want the table. Like, I want the table. I do these for me, and I'm glad they're of interest to you guys. So, there you go. That's where we're at. So, I will re-export all these into a nice clean folder, and then probably tomorrow night I will scale them all up to be in millimeters because uh, I'm a moron and I only know how big an inch is. I don't know how big a millimeter is. Exactly. It's not true. I know 25.4 millimeters make an inch. So like I know a little bit. But I model everything in inches in Max because I can just be like, okay, 6 inches is a range ruler or whatever, 2 inches covers a silhouette. Like that's a size that makes sense to me, um, being an American troglodyte. So, uh, but I know a lot of printers assume millimeters and STLs. Um, I think I said this in another video, but is it one I've released? I can't remember. STLs don't have any sort of unit of measurement encoded into them. They're a very dumb file, which makes them very tiny, which is nice. Um, but all they know, all every vertex position knows is the position relative to the center of the object. So it's not like, it's not, oh, I'm an inch away. It's just I'm 1 away. And then it's like, 1 what? Right? So if you don't scale up these things that are modeled in inches to millimeters, and your printers are like, everything's in millimeters, right? Then you print out an itty bitty little house, which is also cool, but not what you expect. So I'm gonna include in the zips the original inch size files, and then I'll have millimeter ones. So you get 2 folders. There'll be like prefab 1, inches, millimeters, and then identical copies of things. Just one's going to be 25.4 times bigger than the other one. Yeah. So there you go. And then you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about putting any magic numbers into your slicer or your printer or anything to do it. You'll just grab the ones you care about. Try and make it easy for you. It takes me, a day or two more to get them all clean and everything, but I wanted to get it all into one file like this anyway. Let's save this. I can't remember. Did I change anything? Yes, I did. I added the foundations. We needed to save this. Good. Good work, everyone. Okay, cool. So that's the update for tonight. Um, Tomorrow, millimeters. Maybe Sunday night we'll have it done, or if not, early next week. Be pretty soon. I'll get a product listed on Gumroad with everything in it, and then you can you'll all get coupon codes to grab it, and we'll go from there. So sweet. Thank you all as always. Uh, we're making the dream of a few more cool tables come true, which is the goal. And we'll go from there. Hopefully, there's more cool stuff. I don't know what the next project is going to be. I've got some neat table ideas. I've got like a co-op scenario I kind of want to do with like custom models and everything. Maybe I do a terrain set for that. That'd be fun. Anyway, more as it develops.